Welcome to the Save the Animals walkthrough for the Gorilla level. Before we go on, this walkthrough has major spoilers and may ruin the fun of figuring out the solution of this puzzle for yourself. The solution will be given in parts with pauses so you can watch until the part you're stuck and stop. So let's look at checkpoint 1. This is an introduction to recursive loops. Recursive loops in programming means that the loop is created by the procedure calling itself within the procedure itself. That means that it could go on for an infinite number of times. Programmers are actually discouraged from using recursive loops because of this chance that it might create an infinite loop and therefore crash the program. But sometimes you do need recursive loops. Recursive loops make for more interesting puzzles, so we use it to flex your control flow logic. What that means is the ability to keep track of where your program is running and where it's going at all times. I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get to solving this puzzle. So first of all, it seems like that the gorilla has to push the crate up to the wall and then climb once to get on top of the crate and then once to get to the next level, creating a sort of staircase for itself. But it'd be real bother to have to put so many P1s in main because it kind of goes on for a while. So let's do something sneaky this time. Let's put P1 inside P1. Let's take a look at how this would look. Uh-oh, it's an infinite loop. So now it's time to introduce the return command. The return command in programming means to get me out of this procedure or to end this function. What this means is that we can break out of this loop by getting to stop. But it seems, of course, that this command is kind of different from the rest. It's got a different color. If you think about it, return wouldn't really make sense if it didn't have conditions to it. Because if you returned every single time you ran a loop, it would just break every single time, and then it wouldn't really be a loop anymore. Every single command that has a special color in Save the Animals has a special condition. This special condition, blue, means that this command will only run when the animal is standing on a checkpoint. This is really convenient for us then, because it means we can get the gorilla to stop exactly where we want it to stop. If we take a look, it'd be right after it finished climbing. So let's take blue return and put it right here. Checkpoint 2. Now it's the same deal here. You have to go down 4 or 5 times. And if you had to put in P1 all that time, you wouldn't be able to do it in 8 commands or fewer. So what's P1 going to be? Let's just run, turn, P1. And let's test it to take a look. Yup, an infinite loop. I'll give you a second to guess where that blue return might go in this recursive loop. It goes right here. Checkpoint 3. This checkpoint's easy. And that's it. Sometimes you don't want to put all of your commands inside the recursive loop. Remember to use the context button to help you get the commands to face the same way as you want them to look like they're facing. The context button will not affect the behavior of the procedure. It's just to help you out. Let's do this. Checkpoint 5. This is probably the part of the video that you came here for. It's not going to be that easy to save the gorilla. So we know we're probably going to do a recursive loop because of all the different puzzles we just did. The truth is, you can actually get the star using an iterative loop because we decided to make it easier for you. But if you want to feel smart and beat the amount of commands required for a star by a fair margin, then keep watching. So now that we've got our recursive loop structure, we're just going to have to see what the recursive loop is. Well, it's a really complicated set of commands, so I'm just going to give you what the P2 is, which is going to be seen again and again inside the loop, which is run, jump, run, turn. Now this should look familiar. So let's put a P2 in P1, and then where will we get to? Oh, that didn't take us very far. We have to keep going. So let's put another running jump in P1 and see how far that takes us. All right, a little better. All right, I'll just cut to the chase and give you the rest of P1. It's 2 more P2s. And then the P1 call to return to the same loop, thus creating the recursive loop. Let's run it once and see. So close. Let's run it again slowly, and then you tell me where the blue return ought to go. Let's not watch that part. The blue return goes right here. And that concludes the gorilla walkthrough video for Save the Animals. Play Save the Animals now on Android and iOS and rescue these 14 animals, both in the savannah and the rainforest.